something. Not sure what that does. But obviously live, everything's looking good. Okay, here we go, folks. Let's give this a go, doing beignets. I look quite dark. Hopefully you can all see me okay. Right, I want a different view today because I want you to be able to see into the mixer. I've got everything ready here. And what we're going to start with is to get our yeast fermenting. So let's take this out and put it there. We're going to take a teaspoon of our sugar from the amount we have. Recipes obviously on the website, tamsandcochrane.com. We're going to do half a cup of warm water, which there always has to be something I don't have ready, doesn't there? So let me get that half a cup now of warm water. I'm not sure what's quite happening with the... There we go. I apologise for that. Let's put our warm water in. Just a half a cup of that. And then half a tablespoon is the equivalent of what you'll see on the recipe of the yeast. So get that yeast back away in the fridge, which is where I'll keep it. I'm just going to stir that to mix the sugar in as well, and then we're just going to leave that there. So let me put that back on our mixer. Now, I always do set the timer. You need it for 5 minutes, but I always set that timer. It makes quite a difference. So I think it's dark because if you put those lights on, so we have this one going. It just needs 5 minutes to get that yeast activated. In the meantime, I have got our evaporated milk, and I'm just going to add 2 eggs to the milk and just break them up. So I have that ready. There we go. Let's get a fork out. There we go. We're getting more light through. Hopefully that will have an effect. There you go. So I'm just going to break those eggs up a bit so they're not going in whole. There we go. So we've got that nicely mixed. And we're going to put that in with our yeast in a moment, including our sugar and including 1 teaspoon of salt. So I'm just going to get a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to just add that in with my sugar so that is done. So I know that I've got everything ready there. And the other thing that we're adding in, let me just accept Corrie in so she can answer any messages. There we go. That we're going to do is our water with some lard. Now I have, hello Corrie, I am using lard. You can use the fat of your choice. If I'm making beignets for vegetarians, I actually use coconut oil because actually it is, it can be solid, normally is solid. Pretty hot here in Texas right now, so actually my coconut oil isn't so solid. So you can change the fat out, try different fats, but fats do have flavor, so it can impart that flavor, so bear that in mind. Okay, so we're going to get our here we go. Here is now what I've done with this. I'll move it that way, trying to get different cameras here. This is 1 cup of water and a 1/4 cup of lard, which I've heated the water and then melted the lard in it. So it now is in a totally liquid state. So we've also got that ready. And then I'm just going to show you the flour, which is our final thing. Now, this is 7 cups of bread flour. You do want that strong flour, and it is ready. You might not use all of it. It's going to depend, and you'll see that as I make the beignets, on how much you need. So frequently I end up with some left over when I've done that. Now, obviously, I've made the beignets already, so that I can show you the whole process right now, because they take 12 to 24 hours to rise in the fridge. It's a cold rise. I did them yesterday. So this is the flour that was left over, and I keep it because that's what I'm going to use to roll the beignets out with. So don't just throw it away, because you do need it to roll out the dough. So keep it. So that's what we're going to do, and we have that ready as well. Right. We have 57 seconds left on our clock to let this go, so we're nearly there. And then the process is going to move really quite quickly from there on in. So here we go. I am going to add the, my brain dying there. I'm going to add the eggs and the evaporated milk that we've already done. So let's put the mixer down. Let's move this wire back slightly. It's trying to have it all here for you to see. It does get interesting. We'll lock the mixer. There we go. So I'm just going to add in our milk and our eggs like this. Sure. Yes, you can see a little bit of what we're doing here. And there we go. It's our timer. And our sugar and our salt. We're going to add that in as well. So that's now done. It's mixing it around nicely. So I'm now going to take our water and lard and gently put that in. We now have our full range of liquids that are going to go in there, and all we need to do now is add our flour. So I am going to just start by adding 4 cups of flour straight off, and then getting the mixer to bring that to a smooth, and at that point it's pretty much a thick batter. It's not a dough, and then we'll move up from there. So let's just, I know I can't get it too wrong because I've already measured the flour, but it's, you're going to go on how it looks. That's pretty important in cooking, especially if you change to go to a high altitude, for example. How it looks and feels is very important because the altitude has a huge impact on it. There you go. I'm trying to do this so that you can see it easily. Here we go. So this is 4, and I'm just going to let the, I do have a top that can go on it, but that would obscure your view slightly, so I'm trying to not do that. There we go. A little noisy, I realise, but what we're doing is getting our batter smooth, and we're going to move that up to being a dough. There's going to be a little bit of, there we go. I'm just going to add another cup. It's going to be a little bit of rearranging soon as I get this out. So that now is 5, and I'm just going to add a little bit more, and we are going to gently mix it in. You can hear the mixer start to strain. Do listen to your mixer. You do not want to ruin that motor. So let me just whack that up a little bit more now. Okay, I'm going to add in the rest of that. And just give that a go. So you can see it's getting much thicker now. It's turning into a dough. I don't have the dough hook on though, I should have mentioned that. I actually have the beater on, and that's because it does start as a much thinner batter. So that's really quite important. Right, what we're going to do now is take it off. Let's try and lift this off actually. It's not so easy to do. So there we go. And let me take the dough hook out. Not the dough hook, the beater. There you go. So it is very sticky. I think you can see that. I'm trying to, it's very sticky. So we've still got flour to add, and we're going to add that flour. But we're now going to do it by hand, not with the mixer, and we're going to bring it to a nice dough. Here we go, just getting it all off. It will come off quite nicely. It doesn't matter that you're sticky because in actual fact, there we go. Let me move all these to the sink. Right, let's try and move some of the stuff. And this is not the point where we're using the old flour. This is where we're still using all of this flour that was our 7 cups. So put that down. I'm just going to move this out, and I'm going to tip the dough out. Okay. I am quite a tactile person anyway, so I quite enjoy this. I do wish I had already taken my ring off, because I have to tell you, it's going to be a right mess after this. It's a bit silly of me. But can you see adding that flour already? Oh, hang on, let me just rearrange that camera. Let's add a bit of dough everywhere, shall we? Let me just turn you a fraction around. There you go. So what we're going to do, let's move the bracelet up so it can't come down. And we're going to knead the flour. When you knead the flour, you're going to pull it up with your fingers and down with your palms. Up with your fingers, down with your palms. And you can actually get quite a good rhythm going on that. And you will feel when the dough is actually really rather nice. It turns into, one, it's warm, because obviously we put that warmed water with lard. And when you put your fingers in it, if we're still getting sticky, then we know we need to add a little bit more of our flour. And you can feel the sticky when you're pushing in as well. So, and it will give you nice arms for the summer. You think of all the pluses in life. Here we go. Now this beignet recipe, I mentioned earlier, was a cold rise. So this dough will rise. I think it's the sun outside moving in and out, which is what's changing the colour on the video. I want to get the other lights on for you. So there you go. It actually feels really nice now, and it means that this dough is ready. So I'm now going to leave this dough for 12 to 24 hours in a bowl, and it is going to not just double in size, but a bit more than that. And then we would move on and roll it out. Obviously, for the convenience of today, I made some yesterday, so I'm ready now to go and get that bowl and show you what it does look like. So let me move this. Give me 2 seconds. Got get rid of this one into here, and then I'll sort that, and I'll go and get you the other one. I want you to mix and move. Let me get the other one from the fridge. So here we go. I put it in my drinks fridge because it's quite a big bowl and it takes up a lot of room in my kitchen fridge. Then again, I have some children's food. My fridge is fairly full. So if you look at this one, and then I'm just going to show you that one, you can see the difference on the rising, because this is the exact same recipe. So let's now take this one out of the bowl. This one is cold. It's been in the fridge for a long time. This one has actually been rising for about 12 hours, actually. I did it quite late last night. Let me get rid of that bowl. Randomly throwing things around my kitchen here. And I'm just going to spread this flour out. And what we do now, it's what we tend to do in this house. Beignets are a very popular breakfast item. So we tend to, I make it the day before, and then in the morning, I'm literally starting at this point where I get it out, I get the rolling pin, and I'm just going to actually roll out the dough. And this recipe makes about 70 beignets, so it makes a lot. But the beauty of beignets is actually they keep for about 7 days in the dough form, not cooked. I am getting very fed up with, would you go and ask Mr. Allen if he'll come and put on those lights for me? I'm going to get flour and things everywhere if I do that. Thank you. So once again, another good workout for your arms. Beignets certainly are that. But really and truly, they are very simple to make and they're very tasty. And in the morning, what I would do is get the oil on, which is what I've done already here. Go and get the dough, roll it out, cut them. And by the time I've done that, the oil's hot enough and I just serve them for breakfast. Then I keep the remainder in Tupperware container in the fridge. It needs to be in the fridge because if you let this dough warm up, it is going to rise. So keep them like that in the fridge, and you have got a quick snack or breakfast, and it's really rather delicious. It's very popular in this house. I expect they're actually going to be totally thrilled because this means there's 2 batches of beignets. Right, so we're nearly there. I'm just going to move some of that flour. I don't need it all over the floor. And I'm going for my poor computer. Yes, you can still see it beautifully. I'm going for a thickness of about 1/4 inch. So really it's just a visual. So I can see here's good, and I can see this section really would benefit from me putting a little bit more album into it. Let's go this way. It's not often I actually try and roll out with, you know, a laptop blabbing, another camera on a tripod. I want you to know it's adding a certain amount. So there you go. I'm happy with that. And all I'm going to do now, I'll push this flour to one side. Remember what I said, we keep that flour, and I'm just going to get rid of some of this flour because I don't want it on the beignets. If you've got too much flour on the beignets, all that's going to happen is it's going to go into the oil and it'll burn there. So you don't really want that. The dough is easy enough to pick up. It's a lovely consistency. I like playing with dough. Clearly, I like playing with dough. I find the easiest way to cut beignets is with a pizza cutter. It makes it a very smooth, quick process. So I literally am just going to go like this. Beignets traditionally are a square shape, rectangle shaped. They're not, just going to cut that there. I'll make these like that. Now the size of your beignets are going to depend. I normally have a few small ones in there because I have smaller children in this house as well as larger children. So I'm going to just move the camera now that you can see how I've done this. And we're going to quickly cook some beignets, which I'm sure will go down very well in this house. There you go. This one can... I think I like the random shapes of them as well. They're just quick and easy, and as you can see, it makes many. So now let's have a look and see how we actually are going to cook them. So I need to make the camera tripod smaller. I'm getting flour everywhere here. Let's hope you're... Right, here we go. What do we see? Let me move this one back for you. Move this back. Corey, are they seeing everything? Corey, can they? Yes. Yes! Okay. Right. Here we go. So I'm going to turn the other camera so you do get to see me from this angle. I'm sorry about all the mucking around. We're trying very hard to master this. There you go. I think now you should see me there, and you can see on the top. Okay, I'm just going to check the temperature of this oil. I put it on earlier. I'm going to turn that on as well. I can see it's quite hot because it's got... I might actually need to turn it off. We want the temperature to be 365, and I can see it's going to... Luckily, it is slowing down a bit. It is actually hotter than that right now. Should have turned it off earlier. But we're going to go ahead anyway. I've turned the heat off, so it will... So I'm literally just going to take some of the beignet pieces. Let me see what I'm showing you. There you go. And we're going to just drop them in. It is a little hot. 365 is good. But this will still work. So it's in there and then turn. I mean, obviously they're browning quite quickly here. But as you can see, they're really puffing up as well. And what I do is I keep the bowl. Can we see the bowl? Maybe. Here you go. So I have that here with icing sugar in, or powdered sugar. And I keep a wire rack with some kitchen towel, paper towel on it, so that I can just lift them out, put them on the paper towel just to take off that surface oil. There won't be a lot because they cook quickly. And then I literally just toss them in the powdered sugar. And there you have it. You have beignets. They are very quick to do and very enjoyable. So I hope you enjoyed that. The recipe is on my website, tamsincochran.com. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. I can't remember what I'm making next week. Corey, can you remember?
Strawberry ice cream.
Strawberry ice cream. There you go. Strawberry ice cream is what we're going to make next week. So I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. And we're going to make some strawberry ice cream. Summer is definitely here. Have fun, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope everyone had a blast for the holiday weekend just gone here in America. Bye. There we go. Trying to get rid of you all.